Okay, I hope this sounds a bit better. Okay, I don't know how audible this is. What up, YouTube? It is your favorite girl, your Liquida, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're a turning subscriber, welcome home, baby. And if you're passing by, if you like what you see and you decide to join the fam. So as you can see in today's title above or below, depends how you're watching the video. Today, we're going to be talking about being in spaces where your sensitivity is invited. Without any further ado, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, enjoy. Okay, guys. So, of course, what's a video without chamomile tea? You're having some chamomile. Hey, man. Happy Pala Coach Mic manje. I bought some mics, guys, because I really wanted my, to improve the quality of my sound. Yeah, but I do think the phone that I carry, which is an iPhone 13, does have good audio. I think divagala go tlene. However, I just thought, you could never like you there's nothing like there's no way you can't improve something. You can always improve the quality of your content. So I was like, you know what, let's get a mic. And it was so affordable, guys, not even expensive, from TAKEALOT. I am going to attach how much it was on the screen, and if possible, I don't know if it's possible, put the link of the product on the description down below, so that if anybody's interested in purchasing it, they may. So without further ado, chamomile tea, darling, you will always be famous. Okay, so yeah, like I said, today's topic is about going to spaces whereby your sensitivity is invited. And guys, as somebody who is sensitive, right? I really am a sensitive person. As somebody who's sensitive, this is a very difficult thing to navigate, right? Because people take advantage of your sensitivity. People tease your sensitivity. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, disclaimer. I have the tendency of rocking back and forth. I don't know why. But, okay, let me just try it like this. Okay. I have the tendency of rocking back and forth. It's such a involuntarily, it's a bad, okay, I don't know if it's a bad or good habit, but it's such a habit. And it happens involuntarily. So if you catch me rocking back and forth, yeah, just know that I will tap out of it at some point, because I don't do it on purpose. I really don't. So yeah, as I was saying, as somebody who is sensitive, being in spaces whereby my sensitivity is not seen as a weakness but instead as a strength has been a very difficult thing for me to do. Number one, I get very offended when someone says I'm sensitive. Because the whole notion or the whole idea of sensitivity is affiliated with weakness, right? And I think also just growing up in an environment whereby ukubone xa umzali is disciplining you, they're hitting you, corporal punishment. Uyakubetha umzali, akubetha ufumanise uba uburongo manyani, akubethe sogqiba ulile, athi hayi sulile, ulilela ntoni, kutheni ulile, zobe ndikubethe ke mna ke, ulilela ntoni. So you now end up being like, you're trying to hold your tears because you're being told not to cry. And I think because of such experience, it has caused me to shrink. It has caused me to be like, it has caused me to feel like my emotions are invalidated. It has kind of made my mind not, it's a battle between my mind and my heart, whereby my heart does want to cry. I mean, I'm feeling pain, but my mind is like, no, we can't do this right now, right? It gets to a point where you bottle up your emotions. And of course, like any other bottle, when it's over, it bursts when there's too much pressure into it. Too much is bottled up and it bursts, and the bursting of a bottle is not nice, because not only does it hurt you, it splashes others, the bottles cut other people's flesh. Do you get what I mean? So bottling up emotions really isn't beneficial for anybody, not for me, not for the next party. So I think as I grow up, I am trying really hard to um tell myself that it's okay to feel, you know, it's okay to feel my feelings. Um I've been in spaces or with friends, just apart from home. I've been with friends who, oh, I once had a friend in high school. I'm very quick to cry. And she'd always say stuff like, "Oh, avukhala yolisa umdalanga, sangazukhala umdalanga." But then on Facebook, she's the same person who's like, one thing about me, like one thing I will do is cry. And you're like, my sister, you were judging me just now, Hurumia, I cry a lot. But you're the one who's now saying that you're crying. So I think people, now when I look back at it, it was a projection of, she knows that she should be crying. She knows that crying is healthy, but my sensitivity triggers hers. So, in order for her not to feel sensitive, rather she invalidates my emotions so that my emotions don't trigger hers. It's such a crazy thing. So that my emotions don't trigger hers. So, I think, especially in high school, you know, being in a space where in high school, at home, crying is somewhat forbidden. It's not really forbidden. There isn't like a law to say, "Eh, ungakali." But of course, I mean, you train me not to be a crier because you'd hit me, but expect me not to cry. It doesn't make sense, you know? So being at home in an environment whereby crying was somewhat forbidden, and then going to school to be with friends who, or being with a friend who also made you feel like your emotions are invalid, or who also made you feel like you shouldn't be crying. Or, yo, guys, in high school, I had really messed up friends because um I remember, yo, guys, wow. I remember I'd be friends with somebody who would say the meanest things, and to a point where it'll actually make me cry. Because I'm someone who doesn't take themselves seriously. I don't. I know how to take a joke. I do have a humor. But I think because I have such a good sense of humor, people tend to overdo it and not know when and where to draw the line. And I remember this particular friend would say stuff like, um, I'm not for sensitive people in Gemini. And she's saying that in front of me and she knows that I'm sensitive. Oh my gosh, like I'm not for sensitive people. I just can't be around sensitive people. I can't cope with sensitive people. And then when I start pushing her away, now she wonders, Yoli, why do you push me away? And I'm like, babe, come on. Chelsea, come on now. What the heck? Are you honestly gonna ask me that kind of question? So Um, yeah, I think in essence, I've really battled to be in spaces whereby my sensitivity is invited. Even in romantic relationships, I think this is the first romantic relationship where I'm allowed to be sensitive to a point where sometimes I overdo it. Because, like, you know, I'm not used to this kind of treatment. I'm always used to, you know, guys also making me feel like, what the heck is wrong with you? You crazy. Whereas I'm not crazy, you're the one who's driving me crazy. You know? I remember I once had a panic attack in front of my ex in high school, and then he was like, so how? So nje bafethu mina kade ngangigowa. Into yami yokugowa nje kade ngayiqala. So, you know, just I think I'm trying to draw a picture to you guys of where exactly my emotions come from, where I come from with my emotional journey. And I have really struggled to be in spaces. Sorry, y'all, it was my battery. I have really struggled to be in spaces or to find spaces where I can authentically be myself. Because at home, I can't be like that. At school, I can't be like that. Romantically, I can't be like that. Because even in varsity, I think in varsity, I was friends with people that like, and I think it was a coping mechanism. I don't think it was out of malice. I think for them, it was more for coping mechanism as well for them. They understood it, but I couldn't understand how everything now turns to a joke. Don't get me wrong. I do joke about my trauma. But at some point, we need to be serious. At some point, you need to sit down and be like, oh, guys, this is how I'm feeling. Like, it doesn't make me feel good. And and then have them comfort you. I found out it was always jokes all day, every day. We are joking. Guys, guys, my finger broke. Ah, and it's like, oh my gosh. It was really frustrating. And I don't think, shame, like I said, I don't think it was out of malice. But it was just so hard to connect with them because everything turns into a joke. That when I start joking about your traumas, now you feel offended. And it's like, my sister, just yesterday, I told you that I cut my ear. And then you laughed at me. And you called me, who's that guy in the Bible who got his ear cut? But that one. Just yesterday, I was telling you about something that hurts my feelings, and you are laughing at me. Now I'm doing the same to you. You have an issue, you know. So it has been a struggle for me, and I'm beginning to realize that I care a lot about people making me feel validated. Well, when in actual life, like in real life, I should have validated myself. Because God validates me. God validates my emotions. God is welcoming of the fact that I'm an empath. God is welcoming of the fact that I feel things deeply. He is welcoming of the fact that I will go through my emotions, you know. And I think now I'm at a phase where in my life I want to be around people who allow that to happen. Around people who allow me to cry when I need to cry. Because, guys, I don't even want to lie to you. I have such a hard time telling a friend that I'm going through a tough thing unless it comes up during a conversation in context. But I find it really difficult to go to a friend. I don't say I don't do it at all. I do it. But it takes a lot of emotional prepping for me to go up to a friend and be like, yo, Chummy, this is how I feel, Reeds. Unless something really pissed me off and I'm having a literal crash out. But it's really difficult for me to go to a friend and be like, oh, my Chummy, like, it's so hard. What I'm feeling right now is so heavy on me. I'm having such a tough time. It gets to a point where during my connect leader has to kind of get it out of me. I'm like, no, I'm good. And she's like, no, you're not good. You're lying. Talk, you know? So it's been hard, man. And I'm by all means willing to be somebody who speaks up. But because I'm so used to spaces that required me to be in Bogota, that even when I can be soft and delicate, I can't. I fear being told that I'm too sensitive. I fear being treated as if I'm too sensitive. I fear being laughed at for my emotions. I fear being judged. Do you get what I mean? But the closer I get to God, the more I'm realizing that actually me being an empath and me being sensitive is actually my superpower. It makes me who I am. It makes me want to help people. It makes me want to help myself even. Um, I think it's healthy because it makes me feel all my emotions, even though I hate it. Like, I hate feeling all my emotions. Trust me, I do. But it makes me feel that way. And I now want to be in affiliation with people who allow me to speak when I need to speak. Of course, in a respectful manner, there's no need to lash out. Even when I have a problem with what they did, they're like, oh, okay. Because I once told someone that, hey, me, I didn't like what you did. And they're like, oh my gosh, I feel like you're just so sensitive. The world is going to crush you. You must learn how to control your emotions. You mustn't be so sensitive. And you're like, do you remember what you just said? I think now what I'm beginning to tell myself as the 23-year-old Yolisa is that my empathy is my superpower. And that I do not need to be somebody that I'm not so that I appear a certain way. There are people who are deserving of my empathy. There are people who are deserving of my kindness. I think I I want I seek for empathy or kindness from people that I show that vulnerable side to, which is okay. But you know, when they say kindness comes back, we always expect it from the person that we gave kindness to, and we do not expect it to the next person we're going to encounter who opens the door for us, who speaks to us politely, who is like, oh, darling, please just pull your dress down. We can see your tights. Who, like we always expected from the person that we were kind to and not from the next person. So I think I'm beginning to be at a phase where in my life I'm like, okay, y'all, you will experience that kind of empathy, that kind of love whereby you're able to strip your emotions naked and literally be vulnerable and not feel like you're exposed. Because trust me, there are times where I open up and I'm like, I feel like I'm so exposed. There are times where I cringe and I flinch and I'm like, okay, that was too much to share. But what if you are sharing to the right person? What if you are sharing to somebody who cares about how you feel? Because I really do feel like every human has empathy, and that empathy has to be used to help others, right? I do not think if there was a lack of empathy, I don't think there'd be human rights lawyers. If there was a lack of empathy, I don't think there could have been a constitution. If there was a lack of empathy, I don't think there could have been organizations such as the UN that advocate for human rights. So empathy is a necessity and a need in our society to make it a better place. But because of hurt, we tend to reduce that. And I am now beginning to choose to show empathy and not care what people say, and not seek validation or to be told your emotions are okay. To know that my emotions are okay because God knows that my emotions are okay. That it's okay for me to feel this way because God, I mean, guys, Jesus wept. Jesus himself was sensitive. And he surrounded himself with people who allowed that sensitivity because his disciples did not see him as weak. More than anything, they saw him as strong. They saw him as bold. Do you get what I mean? So, to anyone out there who's struggling with finding places whereby they can be vulnerable and their sensitivity is invited, you're not alone. And you will find your community. I think I'm also saying this to me. You will find your community. I think I found my community. It's not a huge community. It's just a nice group of 2 to 3 people, who are really inviting of my sensitivity, who make me feel validated, who validate me. And I appreciate those people a lot because they're the people that I run to. And I now want to be in spaces whereby I can just be me, you know. I can cry if I need to cry. I can be hurt if I need to be hurt. Not this thing of you offend me now. Like people that respect me. Not this thing of you offend me, you just finished offending me right now and you expect me to smile with you after a minute. No, we're not doing that right here. We're into Kaila. So just being around people who respect me, because I do think people who are accepting of your sensitivity do respect you as well. And also being that person to others. And also choosing what offends me. I can't be offended by everything because, I mean, we live in a world of sin. Everyone is going to offend you. Even your bestest friend is going to offend you. They're going to do something you don't like. So I think also a part of sensitivity, of embracing your sensitivity, is also choosing what offends you and what doesn't offend you. You can't be offended by each and every single little thing. Do you get what I mean? Some things you just have to be like, you know what? It's not you speaking. It's not you speaking, it's your emotions. It's not you speaking, it's the spirits behind what you're saying. And I think the enemy has a really good way of trying to get to us through people. has a very good way of trying to get to us through our hurt, through our childhood traumas, and making it seem as if they're invalid, making it seem as if our empathy makes no sense in the world. Anyways, guys, this brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for making it this far. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Anyways, have fun, stay vigilant, and remember, we're here for a good time, not a long time. Peace.